No one's
Either
watching, but we're live.
either Jance, Walter's Steelbear.
Hey, there's one person watching. Hey, one person watching. How's it going? And they're gone.
And they're gone.
They came. They came, gave a thumbs up, and went away.
At least you got a thumbs up. Oh shoot.
Oh, there we go. Oh, there's people watching. They're just not telling me they're watching. Hey, how's it going, guys? So, I am here today with. How do I switch the camera there? I am here with this guy, Dave McConnell, who you might recognize. I did the Hammer video with him. He's been on Forged in Fire, and as we start this whole forging it forward thing, a lot of people are asking, how do you go from just a guy with a thing in your driveway, to
That's where I started too.
running your own full-time blacksmith shop? And Dave's done it. Dave is now working full-time
Living the dream.
for himself. So I figured we'd do a quick question and answer session. So hey to everyone who's joining us. James at County Line, how's it going? Donna, Andrew, Billy, Flipazoid, hi y'all. How's the claw hammer coming along? I was asked. Here, let me switch the camera around. Claw hammer's done. I had some issues with the heat treat. It wasn't, because that's the problem with using unknown steel. You never know what to do. And eventually, I ended up cracking the handle, the hammer, right where the claw was split, and it never hardened up. So I don't know what the heck. I don't know what it was. I don't know anything. So claw hammer's done for the pictures. You can see them on my. Oh no, they're not on my website. You can see them on my Facebook page. Go to the HOJ Forge Facebook page and you'll see it. So, anyways, we're here because Dave McConnell, who you're looking at right there, is going to be doing live videos on Facebook on Northwoods Forge, which I will put a link in the description of this video when I get home from his place. It takes me about half an hour to get home from here, so it'll be later. Once the video's done, about half an hour later, I should, 45 minutes, I should have a link up to his Facebook page. But coming up tonight,
8:30.
8:30. So he'll be, doing some live stuff and things like that. I don't know. What are your plans for it?
Well, the plans are, for the big picture, is I want to do a bunch of these, and I want to start from the beginning. There's a lot of you guys that are really new at this, and some of you that aren't. But I want to start with the beginning. Simple drawing and tapering. We'll talk about coal forges. We'll talk about hammer technique. We'll talk about just the beginnings.
So there you go. Hammer technique. That's a huge one. There's a County Line, and he'll tell you hammer technique is always important. I know. I'm just starting to get to the point where I'm learning about what hammer technique does, the difference in how well it moves the metal when you know how to swing that stupid hammer. And I'll tell you what, I screwed up my hand. I still can't. This knuckle will never work again because in the first 2 years of my forging career, I had done so many bad things that I screwed this knuckle up in this finger,
Doesn't take long.
and it will never work right again. So I was told by the doctor. So learn how to hold the hammer right, learn how to swing it, and it will do you wonders. So anyways, we're here with Dave, and he will be glad to answer any questions. This is just going to be a quick one because I know Roy at Christ-Centered Ironworks is going to be doing his live feed for Chandler's Hammer, and we don't want to step on that.
Nope.
And he's doing that early. I think he's doing that it says 5. I'm assuming 5 Eastern time because he's in Ohio. So we're just gonna do this real quick and then be gone. And then Dave's gonna be later tonight, 8:30ish. So, but if you have any questions right now, Forged in Fire questions, how do you start a blacksmith shop so that you can work for yourself, making your own stuff, living the dream? Now's the time to ask out. And I know some of you are probably watching at work, not just kind of. Maybe the boss won't catch me watching this.
Put it under the radar.
So, But again, his Dave's Facebook page, Northwoods Forge, you can go find that. County Line Forge. Can you tell Dave to get out of the way so I can see that oven?
Absolutely.
That means the camera. This is brand new. This is his.
That's the new addition.
So, well, talk about it. Or are you going to show it off today?
Uh,
No, you better join
yeah,
him on the live feed. And
yeah, there'll be stuff going on with this thing while we're playing tonight. So
how do you open this door?
twist and turn. Look at that, still clean.
Looky there. Have you used it at all yet?
I fired it yesterday. I got it up to 1950, which is where I'm going to be doing my stainless at, and just let it hold for a little bit, just to give it a test fire, and everything worked well. So, yep.
Fascinating. All right. Andrew says don't call us out now. Yeah, Andrew. Sorry about that. Your boss wasn't paying attention anyways. Martin at M&S Blades asks, Dave, how hot is the Forge and Fire Forge?
You know, they're hot, but I was really unimpressed with their forges. I don't know what brand they are. Was never confident that it was hot enough, but it was. But it just, I would have got a lot hotter in my forge if I would have done it here.
See, that makes me nervous now.
I'm
not supposed to say anything. All right. James says you can put a ton of hammers in there.
Yes, you can.
Question from Luffy, Lufe. Torsion bar from a truck. Is that good enough to make a hammer?
I'm a very big proponent, I guess you would say, to not using
Dave's a known steel kind of guy.
Yeah, reclaimed steel. For the price, if you go to the right resources, you can get decent steel. You can use it. I'm not saying you can't use it, but how do you heat treat it?
Exactly.
Do you know how to heat treat it? You don't know what steel it is. Some
Here, let me jump in, because that hammer I made, that claw hammer, isn't hard, yet it still got, violently shook up enough in the quench to crack. There's something goofy with that steel. It was just an axle that should have been some close cousin of 4140 or something.
Right.
But it isn't. What is it? I have no idea. So that's the dangers of using unknown steel. So do it at your own risk.
Yeah, I'm not going to tell anybody not to use reclaimed materials. It's great to practice on, but for quality tools, I disagree with using that stuff.
Very good. All right, if you're just joining us, Dave McConnell here has been on Forged in Fire. Came in runner-up on the Talwar episode last season. Still see it all the time on the History Channel. So by the hair of your chinny chin chin.
So close.
Yeah, so close. So he'll answer questions for the show if you would like. Dave is also a full-time blacksmith now. When did that happen? When did you make that decision?
Last week.
Just last week?
Yeah, this is
so
new.
This is right after I emailed you saying, hey, can I come over?
Yeah. This is we're jumping in.
Wow. All right. So if you ever have any questions, go check him out. He does have a YouTube channel. I don't do a whole lot on there.
I never had time because I was working a full-time job and doing this, and I didn't have time to run around positioning a camera.
Sure.
Hey, watch this. But now I hope to do a lot more.
Okay, cool. Check him out on Facebook, and he's a part of the Forging It Forward group. And I'll try and get over here and do some fun stuff with him from time to time, too. Grayson, hey, man, good to see you. Let's see. Speaking of unknown steel, I got the knife in the vermiculite. Hope it softens this time. Says Science Addict 77. That's Ryan. He's having a hard time drilling through. Is that unknown steel, Ryan? Yeah, it must be, because you just said unknown steel. Hello, Jeff. How are you? Have you revisited the build, Dave? Revisited what build? Do you know what Martin is asking?
Is he talking about redoing the Tall War? Maybe doing a actual one where I have time to do it?
Is that what you're talking about, Martin?
I don't know.
Is redoing what he did? Because I think he didn't. Oh, I don't know if I left that in the final edit though. I don't know what you're talking about, Martin. That's a little clarification. Coil and strut springs used for tools as long as not cracked when on the car question marked. I that's what I use
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah, I mean, you can. I'm like I said, it's at your own discretion.
Use the coil springs, you'll do fine. Now, I've really the only problems I've ever run into are with leaf springs. It's not to say coil springs don't have their problems. There's a reason why they get replaced because they get worn out. Um, when they're worn out, obviously there's weakness in the steel somewhere. Now, the forging process may correct some of that depending on how you do it, or it may exasperate
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So you do use them at your own risk. But in my limited time, and it's only been a handful of years, I've never run into a problem with the coil springs. Leaf springs, those are the big ones. What's your favorite blade style? Justin Wells asks.
I like bowies. I like big bowies.
You do these massive recurve things.
Yeah.
Do you have one hanging up here?
Yeah, there's one right here. This is actually a junk blade. But yeah.
So, but I mean, look at that. That's gonna be a chopper with that recurve in there.
Oh yeah.
What? That's like a flipping sword, man.
Ah, that's a little one.
That's a little knife. Just a little knife. All right. Let's see. Martin, yes, the Forged and Fire build. So have you revisited the Talwar?
No, I have not. I would like to. It was a complicated build. It would be fun to have, 2 weeks to do it, where I could take my time and now that I've done it, granted, probably a week wouldn't be that bad for me now, but yeah, I would like to revisit it.
Cool.
It was actually a really cool sword. I mean, I got to cut stuff with it. I was playing with it like 2 weeks ago, cutting small trees down with it.
Did you get it back? I heard they were
Yes.
sending
Yes.
stuff out.
Yes.
They must have. Wonder if that's because they moved. They moved from New York to Connecticut.
Well,
Is
it was all the judges. The judges were uh, saying that second place gets nothing.
right.
I mean, you go home, and then they would take your weapon too. So the judges are like, "Come on, give these guys something."
Well, something for the effort.
Yeah.
All right.
So they really, really pushed for everyone, the finalists, to get their weapons back. Other than the winner, because they just got $10,000 for their weapon. But
Gotcha. Heath at Shepherd's Forge just punched out of work.
it's a good.
All right, are we back? I hope we're back.
Somebody answer us.
It looks like we're back. If we're back, somebody say hello. If we're not back, say no, you're not back. Okay, we're back.
We're back.
All right. So, anyways, yeah, my hammers. While I'm just playing around, learning what I can do to forge one out, it's all just these old axles, these old hunks of steel I have lying around. But I've actually got steel that I think is getting delivered today. I don't know. We just sort of we're talking about that. I got a notice from FedEx. What are you forging when you're not making blue? Yes, Mark.
Oh man, I forge so much different stuff. I do the ornamental stuff. I do a lot of hammers. I do a lot of tools, punches, chisels, fullers, hand fullers. Gosh, it's endless what I do. I love the whole spectrum.
So, well, here, look at his hammer rack. You made what? Probably 90% of those.
Yeah, I would say so.
Oh, cool. Hammers I use are from him. Martin at M&S Blades, is Jason going to use your forge when he makes his appearance on the show? As far as you know, I'm not going to be on the show. If I ever make it to the show, I will make sure you know before it airs. B, why would I use Dave's forge? I'll use my own forge. If I make it to the show, which you don't know that I am. So, Drayson, okay, so what to use the broken ones for? Got 4 yesterday and 2 more coming on Monday. Broken what? Springs? Cut off the broken part and see if there's
Yeah.
anything salvageable, I guess. Let's see. Justin Wells, I'm 17 and would like to try to become a full-time blade maker. Any tips?
Don't give up. I've been doing this for 12 years and working a full time job. And I mean, the last 2 years, I've been putting in hours at work and probably a good 30 hours here. Um, Practice proper technique, and you'll go a long ways. I mean, uh, it's not it's not for the lighthearted. I'll give you that. I have so many young guys come in here thinking that they're gonna come in, forge a blade first time. Some do, and some are like 15 minutes into it, and they're like, "Okay, I quit." Don't give up. Don't get discouraged if your first knife looks like crap, because mine did. I mean, it looked like a butter knife. It did. I mean, that's the way it is. I mean,
Do you still have it?
heck no.
Yeah. I ended up giving my first knife to my mother because I didn't want to just give it away.
Yeah.
And I knew eventually it would come back to me. But, I mean, think about when it does.
Yeah.
I will have
Yeah.
however many years
Yeah,
of
that'll be
experience
cool.
under my belt, and
I
it'll be so
mean,
much better.
Like, what do I have? I forged a long time ago.
Do you
I
have
have-
one of your first hammers?
I have.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. I have the very first hammer I ever forged, which I made for my son. And he was like probably 7 or 8 at the time.
That's a really cool flipping little hammer.
Yeah, this is actually made out of '01. But yeah, that was the very first hammer I ever made.
Is that a curly maple on the
Yeah,
hammer?
yeah, yeah, out of a pallet. I keep that around.
Very cool. James says it looks like a Hofi.
Yep, healthy style.
Hofi,
Yep.
yeah. Martin says he was talking about the ability of more tooling is all, and just testing to see if I would reveal anything. The whole point of the show, the one thing you will notice on the show, all right, body weird, and I'm blocked because we're out in his forge here. So anyway, said about the show was, it's designed to put equal skills against each other. Because obviously the guy with the full machine shop and the power hammers and the presses and all that is most likely going to do better than the guy working in his barn,
Yeah.
turning things out. Now, that's not always the case. The guy that you were up
I was
against,
just say, I think the guys that I was that one lean tube, all basically. That was he was sharing that with his horse Cricket.
no, well, and he did really good.
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
like I said, it came down to either one of you could have won. That
Yeah.
you don't need
No.
amazing
No, I
equipment
mean,
to compete, but the point of the show
It's-
is to try to get skill levels,
It's your skill set.
equal skill
It's
levels.
your skill set.
Yeah,
I mean,
think of somebody like me up against Jason Knight.
Sure.
Okay,
and
I lose.
and
Bye.
yes.
So that would they try not to make that happen. Although I've seen a lot of the good guys.
I've seen a lot
kinda
of the
choke.
masters. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's been a few masters that have. I was surprised.
Here, we're getting behind on questions. I think it's cutting out every time you pan the camera back and forth. No, I think it's when I turn that way and get my body between the inner other stuff to everything, making ornamental stuff, everything. Yeah, you want to be well rounded as a smith, I think.
And I'll explain this probably this evening, but I believe, and this is just me, that you learn the fundamentals of blacksmithing will take you a lot further in knife making than if you just jump into knife making. There's so much you can do if you have the fundamentals down. You can get into the integrals. You learn how to shape the blades. I believe you just learn more and can do better if you start with the blacksmithing aspect.
And I would probably agree with that. I started with the knife making aspect. That's what I wanted to learn, was how to make knives. And 4 years later, coming up on 4 years, I make a pretty good knife. Not to toot my own horn, but I mean, I do. I see every little tiny flaw with them. So I mean, you put my knife up against anybody's, and I'm always going to say their knife is better, even if they've only been making them for a month.
Right.
But
Same thing here.
but I mean, in reality, I didn't learn the fundamentals of blacksmithing, and it shows in my tool making.
And
And
what you're gonna notice later on, what after you've done be faster.
I will say that it was when I really started focusing on the tool making is when I learned how to swing the hammer correctly. So that's, I mean, I think that's an important part of learning it. Because, I mean, drawing out steel, drawing out a big long bar to make the reins on a tong is completely different than drawing out, not completely different, but there isn't much similarity to drawing out some flat stock to get the right length
Right.
on a knife.
Right.
Let's see. Started out thinking I'd make money on the knives, but also do ornamental. However, I've become disenchanted with the knives, says Ryan. That might just be because you're having problems, Ryan. I'll bet you if this knife would. What time is Roy going live? I believe he's going live at 5 with Chandler's Hammers, if that's what you're asking about. From the beginning, Dave McConnell here, forged it from season 4. Full-time blacksmith just within the last couple of weeks. That quit his full-time job and is now working for himself, living the dream of a blacksmith. Took you 12 years to get here, but
12 years, long.
but
long,
here you
hard
are.
road.
But he's going to be doing some live stuff on Facebook. I will put a link in the description to this video, and we've got it up on the Forging It Forward
Yep.
site as well.
I made a post up there about the time. It's on my page.
So,
So
I will put it everywhere I can figure out where to put it so you guys can see it. But that's going to be about 8:30 tonight. Do we know what time it is? Are we getting close to 5? My phone
gotta
is.
be getting close.
Yeah, my phone doesn't give me the time when we're.
4:44. We're quarter two there.
Okay. So why don't we wrap it up? If there's any last minute questions, right this second, we'll answer them. But we'll wrap it up and.
And if you think of something, ask tonight.
Yeah, there you go. And he'll give you a little tour of his shop. He's got the power hammer over here and the heat treating oven we were showing off earlier and the press and all that stuff. Let's see. Learn your tools. Do one thing with a cross peen, then try doing the same with a rounding hammer is different. Well, I think every hammer. I mean,
Yeah, that's the purpose of hammers.
that's why I've always said don't use the hammer that will get you forging the most.
Yep.
Don't listen. I mean, Dave could say my favorite hammer is a cross peen. It doesn't work with the way I swing a hammer. Actually, it works with the way I swing a hammer.
We're back.
Are we back? There we are. You know what? I keep losing the signal or something, so we'll just wrap it up. Everybody can go get ready for Roy's show. Watch that and, bid on the hammer if you want. Roy makes an awesome hammer. He does all that scroll work in it, and it's going to be a pretty cool hammer to help Chandler out. And otherwise, look for the description. Look in the description. Look for Dave's Northwoods Forge Facebook page. That's where the live is going to be.
Yep.
And that's 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Well, we're on daylight savings time now in the Eastern time. You know what? Just go and click like. You'll get a notice when you're live, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So there we go. And thank you, everybody. Middle of the day, kind of late afternoon sort of thing. I know, just sort of surprised, but I'll chat with y'all later. See ya.